Welcome to the United States of Tiffany. Our commentary offers a humorous take on wrestling. Please note, we're not bullying or attacking the wrestlers. We're engaging with the choreographed sport and its storylines. Our jokes and observations are about the characters and storylines, not the real people behind them. Tourists and citizens alike, welcome. Enjoy the show, and remember, it's all in good fun.
Ooh, child. Monday Night Raw started off a little slow, but Phillips said, I want problems always. Hey, Nicole. Oh, my eyes are itchy today. Phil said, give me all your problems. They're causing nothing but chaos. Let's start with Phil. Let's start there. Phil came out there and gave a long speech about how he loves being a fighting champion and how he always wanted to be one and how he is one. That was the gist of it. And then he talked about Roman and how Roman ain't got no damn couth and he don't care about nothing but himself and blah, blah, blah. And he came out there and he said, I didn't know how y'all was going to take to me today because some of y'all said I was disrespectful. You know, some of y'all had said that I went over the line last week. You know, so I didn't know what I was getting. I didn't know if I was going to get cheered, booed, what? I didn't know. And then, as he began to continue speaking, then is when the twins came out there. Now, you could tell who's who more dangerous twin. Jimmy was very calm. He's very quiet. Jay Uso wear his emotions on his sleeve. He's very emotional all the time. And it's either he's angry, happy, sad. He wears it right then and there. You can see it. You can tell. Now, them Usos came out there and they had one thing to say and one thing only. They said, look, we don't give a fuck about no Roman Reigns bullshit. You was out here and all I need you to do is apologize. We need you to apologize. Phil went back into Roman Reigns and them niggas cut that shit off real quick. He said, I ain't trying to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that. We need you to apologize. Phil gave him a little story, gave him a little history lesson. Phil said, listen, I got history with your family. I didn't know much about Sika, but I was very, very well. I knew Alpha very well. He said he didn't make me work for free. But Alpha he paid me in gas money, a hot plate of food, and he paid me in knowledge. That's how I learned the nature of this business. Hell, I damn near raised Lance backstage watching him while your uncles was out there doing their thing. He said, so I got respect for you, for your family, for everybody in it, except that son of a bitch, Roman Reigns. He said, I don't respect him because he doesn't respect anybody else. He ain't got nobody else's back. All he care about is himself. He's not lying. He's not lying. Okay? But baby, Jimmy said, fuck all that. You ain't hearing me. You still keep going back to Roman. And that's not why we're out here. We're here because we want an apology. Plain and simple. That's it. That's it. And baby, he apologized. He definitely apologized. But his response was, I'm sorry that your cousin didn't respect you and treat you with the respect you deserved. I'm sorry that your cousin ain't here. I'm sorry that your cousin ain't man enough to be here, to stand here, to question me to my face. He said, you know what's funny? I owe you an apology. But Roman sat there and talked shit about Dusty to Cody Rhodes' face, and nobody required an apology from him. That's facts. He did do that. He did do that. He never apologized for that shit. Never. And he said, you want an apology from me? And I'm like, well, it devil's advocate, babe. If we being honest, that is their uncle. Dusty Rhodes wasn't none of their damn uncle. So, but I understand the correlation. It do make sense. Because you saying, how come the tribal chief don't have to apologize for his misdeeds, but you do? It's because those misdeeds have directly affected you. That directly affected them. That is the reason why you have to apologize, babe. Okay? And I hate that for you. I do. Oh, not they never acknowledge the women in their family. Lord. Well, Jimmy do. Jimmy do. Jimmy do every day. Unless it's Rock's my, oh, well, yeah. Jimmy give Naomi her props, though. He do. But anyway, now, they ain't like that shit. And they pushed Punk right on the ground, nigga. They weren't trying to hear that shit. And then they walked away, seeing Punk smiling. I'm like, that nigga is a full-on agent of chaos. He knows exactly what he's doing. Now, there was a comment that I got earlier on there, and I want to read it because I need to understand. It says, entire Mania hype is supposed to be built off Punk pissing on tribal burial ground. Is that really enough to get people invested? Creative staff weak sauce. So I have a question. If this is not enough to get you invested, then what will be? Because you are requesting or requiring more. Mania is almost a month away. Almost a month away. We are on March 9th. Mania is in April on the 18th and 19th. So we're about a month. We're about a month and a week out from Mania. So my question is, if this is weak sauce for you, then what exactly are you expecting for them to do, or what should they have done? I'll give you time to put that in the chat because I'm going to move on to the next thing that we saw that wasn't in the cards for us in terms of matches that we were supposed to see. Now, in the cuts, for whatever reason, Netflix has decided that none of us are allowed to see the cut videos and the other stuff that they be talking during the show. They've decided that we're not allowed to see those scenes anymore. When I got the Netflix that don't have no ads for live TV, right? I paid for and no ads on my live TV. And because WWE got its own thing, WWE specifically forces you to have ads. Okay. Which pisses me the fuck off because why am I paying for no ads on live TV shows or live premium events if WWE is the only one who's excluded from that? Y'all, that's the reason why our damn shit done went up in the first place because you added these motherfuckers for $5 billion. Netflix. Anyway, child. Hold on, my laptop hot. Okay. Ooh, it's burning, honey. Now, they don't talk about any of them. Well, they don't. I feel them. Don't speak on my deceased uncle. Well, if we gonna be fair, let's think about what he actually said. Because he didn't say anything bad about Sika. He said nothing bad about him. What he said was that Roman wasn't going to be alone anymore, that he was going to bury him next to his father. That's what he said. That is not saying anything bad about that man's daddy. He said, I'm going to bury your ass. And when I do, your grave going to be right next to your dead daddy grave. Now that's fucked up. It's a fucked up thing to say. But it does not speak ill of the dead in any way, shape, or form. If we're going to be technical, if we're going to keep it real, let's keep it real. But it's the mere fact that it's the mere fact that it was mentioned that his deceased father was mentioned at all. That's where the disrespect comes in. However, well, they did bury, they did. Don, please don't make me laugh. Please. Yes, there was a Danhausen in-ring segment, and he was giving away T-shirts, and he told everybody who did not purchase a T-shirt from the shop that they was gonna be cursed. Speaking of curses, Don ain't shit, yo. There was an in-ring Danhausen segment. Yes, ma'am, it was. I told you they don't show us everything. Oh, Jared, be her ass. Be her ass, Jared. Anyways, got it. Thank you. Thank you. So, he said Danhausen came down to the ring, was funny, and gave away T-shirts. It was hilarious. Now I said no because I'm trying to see the disrespect. Technically, there was no disrespect. The disrespect was blatantly towards Roman. It was never towards Sika at all. It was just the fact that Sika died and he mentioned him as being dead. That's where people is like, you going too fucking far. I know Roman's ass gonna come up and bring up that dead dog. I know he gonna do it. He got a standing ovation, basically. That's what he deserved. Now another segment, like I said. Oh, there it goes. This is a lack of imagination from the creative staff. Count Dracula must have cursed the writers months ago. Like I said, what is your alternative? What would you have come up with? Because in my mind, even if you had 8 months to build, you are going to book that show with Roman Reigns on that card. I don't care what you're talking about. He is still the biggest wrestler in that company, and you need somebody who rivals him in order to be able to book a decent card. He is the draw. So my question still stands. What is going to be your alternative? What would you have done in the or would you have done to still make this a major show, a major match, whether it was between him and CM Punk or not? How would you have booked it to make it better? That's what I want to know. And I'm not even trying to be disrespectful or mean. I legit want to know, how would you have booked this? Because the way I'm thinking, the way I'm gonna market it, especially with my business acumen, Roman Reigns and CM Punk are gonna be on that card one way or a fucking another. Because they're the ones who are gonna make the money. The only reason why this Mania is not shaping up the way that it could have been is because of them going back to Vegas. That is one of the main reasons why the shit's not happening. So what do you actually want to see, since you want to complain? Complain, Jesus, because we're all ears. I mean, I just legit want to see where this is coming from. Come on, creative genius, spread the knowledge. Okay, Don said I would have been like, if y'all feel like fighting, y'all might as well start swinging now, because I'm not apologizing for a damn thing. That's a damn shame. Dangle the character Seth coming back, push over or trick right to the main event. You want You want Trick Williams and Obafemi in the main event right now. You ever heard the saying that you'll blow out the tires before your car even gets started? You know what I'm saying? Here's my thing. Every time a superstar comes into the E or even into AEW and they have a really, really strong attraction, the fans love them and everything, right? You could throw Javon Evans into that pool as well. Everybody wants them to be pushed immediately. We've seen how that plays out, right? Y'all immediately was like, we need to put the title on Jey Uso. We need to put the title on Kofi Kingston. We need to put the title on this person and that person. They need the championship. What happens? You gave the title to Bray Wyatt. Y'all shit on Bray Wyatt's title reign. Never gave Bray Wyatt a real shot to use his creative genius to actually do what he wanted to do. Y'all made sure that whatever happened with him, it was always shit on from the very beginning. Kofi Kingston got turned into a joke, and it wasn't even his fault. It was y'all's by how you treated him and how y'all reacted online and how y'all bombarded WWE with shit about cutting it down and cutting it down. The same thing happened to Jey Uso. Jey Uso wasn't a bad champion. He beat one of the biggest, baddest champions in the E, and he became champion. And what happened? Y'all made sure that his ass was not running around with that title anymore. When people are already hot and they are given the reins to be pushed forward, as soon as they become champion, y'all become bored. The biggest one that y'all did the same thing to is Cody fucking Rhodes. Y'all treated Cody like Cody was the bane of your existence. His very first title reign, right out the gate, y'all did that. Y'all did not give Cody a chance. I'm sorry. I disagree with this. I don't think putting Obafemi and Trick Williams in the main event of WrestleMania right now is the smart thing to do. I think that you need to give them longevity, give them legs, give them feuds, make them have rivalries that are built up, something that's going to work out for them in the long run, things that can be revisited later. You stack your superstars, you give them fair opportunities, but you also build them. Don't just ride on the coattails of what's popular at the moment, because at a moment's notice, y'all turn on the superstar. So while Cole, Trick Williams, and Obafemi are at the top of the mountain right now, you will not give them a fair shake if they're at the top of the mountain with those titles. I guarantee you, at some point in their title reign, you will turn on them. You do it every single time. It's not smart just because everybody likes them and they're popular right now to give them that. It's not smart. It'll kill them before they can even get out the gate. And the fans are the reason why that happens. I disagree. It's too soon for Trick and Oba to main event a Mania with Seth and Cody and CM Punk finishing storylines. And why extend Seth coming back when it's obvious he was the masked man? Dangling the carrot of Seth Rollins coming back does what for WrestleMania? And where are you going to dangle it and put him? Because right now, he don't really have nothing going on. He's still going after the vision, true enough. But there's really nothing for Seth to do. I don't think he should be a part of the feud between Roman and CM Punk. That needs to be a separate thing. So there's nothing really for him to do. So dangling that carrot does what? This sounds like a personal POV. Well, and I ain't interested. So again, we sound like Road Dog just rambling. Well, Brock got the red carpet treatment. Make Oba the next Brock, no hesitation. Making Obafemi be the next Brock Lesnar is not smart for a black man in this industry, because you don't treat the black men that have Obafemi's talent and caliber like you would treat Brock Lesnar. And they ain't gonna pay him like that either. Obafemi is good being Obafemi, and that's where it should stay. Booking him like you would book a Brock Lesnar is unnecessary. Let him create his own path and let him do things his way. Legacies are built by creating your own path, not by following in other people's shoe steps. And like you're not supposed to do that. I like what they're doing with Oba. I wish they slow down on Trick. You can't get no slower. I mean, he's not in title contingency. He's not going after a championship, but he is circling that main event section. Brock debuted over 20 years ago. You cannot book someone like that in this day and age and they not get booed out the stadium. I'm telling you. Well, this ain't Texas, babe. This ain't 2000 no more. Not Oba and Trick in the main event, one or the other. Where is the storyline for Trick Williams to go into the main event of WrestleMania? Let's spin reality and say that Trick Williams going into the main event was the plan. Where's the story? How are you going to build it so that it's a big enough match going into WrestleMania? Because if this was something like Backlash, Money in the Bank, if this was SummerSlam, even at SummerSlam, you need some type of building. If this was any other PLE, a Saudi show, Crown Jewel, Hell in a Cell, whatever PLE they got going on this year, if it was something like that, I wouldn't be angry. I'd be like, okay, let's do it. But you're talking about WrestleMania. And while Trick Williams has the roar of the crowd, a lot of wrestlers have the roar of the crowd. Chelsea being one of them. The crowd cheers Chelsea no matter what she does or how she moves, whether she's a villain, a face, whatever. The crowd cheers her 1000%. Dominic Mysterio gets cheered every time he walks out there. Half the time they don't know what to do with Dom. They don't know if he needs to be a villain or a face. And he's a villain, but then he gets cheered out the rafters often. Yet my question remains, like, with all of that momentum and all of that time and all of that effort, Dom didn't get pushed to the top to be champion, and he had the roar of the crowd more than Seth Rollins did. He had the roar of the crowd more than half of that mid card in the roster. They ain't push him. Why he ain't advocating for Dom to be champion? I'm just saying. I just can't stand the fans. You're just repeating yourself. You want to be completely burned. You're just repeating yourself. You want to completely burn out Oba and Trick immediately to a WrestleMania main event 2 months out. And what the F would you do with them long term? Because you have to be able to book them. And you still have guys. You have guys on the roster right now who are already in title contingency. Trick just got to the main roster. To me, it doesn't make any sense to put him there when you have an opportunity to do true rivalries with him and build him up so he can have some longevity, some real weight behind him. Trick can be a bigger face than Cody, but he's not a face. He's a heel right now. And they haven't flipped him. And it doesn't look like they plan on flipping him anytime soon. And even when they do, I can't repeat it no more. I've said it so many times. But if that's what you believe, I'm not going to try to convince you of anything other. If that's what you believe, then so be it. Doing that book yourself in the corner and you can derail his whole damn career. Well, he can, but goddamn, give people a fucking time to settle. Oba is the next Brock. He's better. I don't like calling people the next anything. I like calling them who they are, which is Oba Femi. He's not the next Brock Lesnar. He's Oba Femi. Bruh, you keep on repeating yourself, and the math ain't mathing. Like, what's not clicking? He's entitled to his opinion. He's entitled to his opinion. He's entitled to how he feels. I disagree. It's no shade. I just disagree. Oba's better on the mic. He's better in the ring, and he has a ton of charisma. Yes, he does, which is why they're taking their time with him and not just forcing him out there to be at the top of the mountain and in the card. This is why I say it's better for him to be given the push, which you're saying he's not getting the Brock Lesnar treatment. But if I recall in the 2000s, this kind of build is what they gave to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar was blowing through the whole roster, and he worked his way up to being the person who would challenge for that championship. But Obafemi is getting a slow build, but it's not slow to the point where you're not interested. And they haven't even decided which show he's going to be on. They haven't even put him on a show yet. Like, we really have to just let things go. Like, let them do what they're doing. Even if you don't like it, let them do what they're doing. We all know this. Again, you're not saying anything new. No original thoughts or ideas. Let them all, like, the mall is open, but the stores are closed. Jesus Christ. Target the incumbent champs. Oba goes for Cody. Trick hunting for Punk. Sure. Sure. I can tell you a place where you can actually see that. And you're probably going to take this as shade, but it's really not. If you play WWE 2K26 and put it into universe mode, you can play it out however you please and see how that works for you. But when we're talking about real world shit, because y'all book like you book shows by how you want to see them. You don't think about the masses and how it affects the masses. Then you don't think about it in terms of long term. Should there be an opportunity for Trick Williams to go after the title? Yes, when he's earned an opportunity to go after that title. Trick Williams isn't even on Raw, so him going after CM Punk doesn't make a lot of sense. Furthermore, there would have to be a story created or built to give Trick Williams the window to be able to go after CM Punk when you already have superstars on that show who could go after that title, and it would be more plausible. At the time, there was Finn Balor, who was very much someone who should be champion, if we're being fair, over Trick Williams. He should have been champion more than 10 years ago. He should be a multi-time champion currently, but he isn't. There's other people on the roster who also could have gone after the title. If Penta wasn't Intercontinental Champion, by your logic, Penta should have been going after the title. Okay? You could have Gunther going back after the title. They ain't doing shit with Gunther, and he beat AJ Styles. He retired John Cena. Why isn't Gunther in the slot? If we're going by your logic, there are at least 3 to 4 other people who are currently on the roster right now who could have gone after CM Punk. But I guarantee you that match won't put as many asses in the seats as the match that is going to happen between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Whether you like it, love it, or hate it, Roman Reigns is your marketing key. He is somebody that has to be on that card. And your most viable feud was between them. They were the ones who hadn't finished their business yet. And you get it out the way now so that a year or two from now, you don't have to revisit that shit. We've already seen it. It's already been done. Because very soon CM Punk is going to be done. And he's going to be transitioning into the back. And I guarantee you his ass is going to be in NXT. And when Shawn Michaels gets tired and retires, he's going to take over in NXT. It's not going to be long for CM Punk to be champion or to be at the top of the mountain. He's going to retire on his own volition too. And when he does, that'll be the time when people will start to take over. But I guarantee you by this time next year, Obafemi will have already been a champion. Or he will be champion. I I put money on that. That's not a booking line or a story. That's a TV feud on SmackDown at best. Well, how are we getting there? What are our merch ideas, marketing? Will he be in any movies we got to book around? How long do we want him to be champ? How many? I mean, this is what I'm saying when I say y'all you're not thinking everything through. I'm not saying that these men don't deserve championship opportunities. They do, and they will get them. But to give it to them now is suicide for WrestleMania. You're not going to sit there and watch that match. You can't tell me that you're going to be like, "Ooh, I can't wait for that match between CM Punk and Trick Williams." Oh, Obafemi and CM Punk are going to battle at WrestleMania. Yeah, they may at some maybe Oba will get to battle him before he retires, but I I'm not gonna say I would be like that's a Mania match. I'm not gonna say that at all. I disagree. What pay-per-views do we want him on? We learned critical thinking in middle school. Come on now. Hello, Primal. How are you? Heck, with this logic, Dominic would have been champ. That's what I'm saying. By the logic of what Octane is saying, then Dominic Mysterio should be somebody who's going after the title. If that's what we're going for. Right? We're not even gonna talk about LA Knight. I mean, LA Knight is there, but at the same time, he's not somebody that I would have booked for Mania. LA Knight was off TV for months. LA just came back at Royal Rumble. To me, it was not smart to put him on the card for WrestleMania. He had nothing going but the Vision. None of the Vision are champions right now. They're all out with injuries, with the exception of Paul and Theory. So where are we gonna go with that? Roman who pulls up whenever he damn well pleases like a G, then shit on creative. You watch. If you don't like the way Roman operates and how he moves, then entertaining what he does doesn't make sense. Now does it? Now does it? If you are so hell bent on saying how Roman don't show up and you he shits on creative and he does whatever he wants, for him to be able to do that and still pull the views that he does, the numbers he does on social media, the numbers he does on Netflix when it's announced that he's showing up, you watch just like the rest of us. So if it's a problem, why don't you turn off the TV when he come on TV? It's because you can't. You're interested in what he's going to say. You're interested in what he's going to do. We all are. We all are. Not done. He over it. Hello, Delaware. How are you? Dom should lean into a cartel mobster angle. Mention Elemental. That's how he should be booked. I think you talk just to. I don't think you absorb when people talk to you or when you're reading other people's comments. You respond to respond, or you don't respond to anything that's actually being said. You ignore it and you move on and go on to something else, or you talk in the conversation about something that is said, but you don't address what is actually said. So, for that very reason, I'm going to continue recapping Monday Night Raw, and you can stay and enjoy the rest of the show if that's what you want to do. It's totally up to you. But I'm going to move on. And if they continue to talk to you in the comments, that's their business. We were talking about before I went on this tangent. So pardon me. And apologies to those who were wanting the recap. But Sometimes when you get people in the comments, you have a little back and forth. We have conversations. It's cool. I like having conversations. It makes my brain fire on all cylinders. Okay. But let me get back to what I was talking about. So there were some segments that were not put on television. Nicole mentioned one with Danhausen. The other one was with Natalia. Natalia, non-scary ass, was putting her whole face in the camera, and all you saw was lips. And Maxine came out there and took her ass to the night water. Okay. Now listen, I have no issues with Maxine getting her lick back, but I need Maxine to start stomping mud holes in people. Maxine got very long legs, so she need to be on some Stacy Keibler type shit. She don't have to wrestle like Stacy Keibler because Stacy Keibler couldn't wrestle, but she definitely need to be stomping them the way that Stacy Keibler used to. Have y'all ever remember that? Did y'all remember watching wrestling back in the day? And Stacy Keibler used to be stomping mud holes in people, and she would stomp the shit out them women in there. Okay, but girl, she beat the brakes off of Natalia. Now, Natalia being the badass that everybody says she was, and somebody commented, like I said, somebody commented and said you attacking a wounded animal, that makes you a badass. Well, today her ass was laid out prostrate before the Lord. So I don't know about how many badasses you know that can attack a wounded animal and then turn around and get their ass whooped 2 weeks later. But that's exactly what happened with her. So it is what it is. I don't know if Adam's gonna book a match with them two again and Maxine properly beats her, but something needs to happen. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but something needs to happen. Okay, now the other segment that I want to talk about is the Judgment Day. Now, Raquel and them, the very first opening scene of Monday Night Raw. Who came out there first, Jared? I don't remember. I don't remember. But after that, the gauntlet match happened to determine AJ Lee's number one contender for next week's Intercontinental match. Now, in the gauntlet match, you had Io and Lyra going first. They had a pretty decent match going. Oh yeah, Adam addressed CM Punk. Seth. I'll get to that in a minute because that was it was interesting. But anyways, during the gauntlet match, I want y'all to listen to me very carefully. During this match, once Io beat Lyra, Raquel came down there. Raquel was dominating in the match against Io. However, once Raquel started losing in the match, here come y'all best bum, fucking Liv, coming down there to try to stop her from losing. Inadvertently, she caused enough of a distraction for Io to beat her and win. Now, my brain would say this is the third betrayal from Liv Morgan, right? This is the third time that this bitch has cost me something. Okay? Io ended up getting the brakes beat off of her by Raquel because she lost. Now, what took me out was that the rest came down there after she got her ass whooped. And then Io got put into the match. Bum ass Ivy come down there and get the pin. Cool. I ain't even mad at Ivy for getting the pin because I did the same thing too. You did exactly what you was supposed to do, bitch. You went down there, you saw that she was down and out. You ain't got to fight her, and you still got to fight somebody else. So you went on ahead and got your W. And I don't blame you for that. Now Bailey was next. Bailey comes down there, she distraught. She looking down at Io and she like, damn, friend. Damn, my former friend, you got tore up. Bam, got bust in the back by Ivy. They in there scrapping. They fighting. Match was decent. Bailey beats Ivy, and then the next thing you know, here comes Oscar. Okay? Oscar come down there, and they scrapping. They fighting. Kairi Sane gets involved. Lyra comes down there, cancels out Kairi, and Oscar gets pinned. Bailey picks up the win. Bailey is the new number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship. She will face off against AJ Lee next week. I'm sure it's a dream come true for her You know, that's one of her favorite wrestlers, I would assume. I don't know. I don't know. Ivy looked good. I ain't gonna lie to you. She looked great. Now, let's go back to the beginning of the show. Because Scrap Daddy came out there. And Scrap Daddy said, listen, I ain't out here for no fun and games. I'm out here to talk to punk ass Seth Rollins because he keep disrupting the flow of my goddamn show. Now, we all know that your ass is here because the Vision's ass is here. And you need to bring your ass down here so we can talk. Now, they ain't hear Seth's music or nothing, but a bunch of these mass motherfuckers come running out of nowhere. I said, God damn. Now, Seth was on top of the damn table, which to me, if you were, this is how I know WWE sometimes they either don't think all things all the way through, or when the superstars make a plan, they're not quite planning everything all the way through. So instead of having Seth come out and get on top of the announcers table, right? They should have just had all of them come in. And I'm talking about a bunch of them. They did have a bunch of them, but they should have all ran from the back, from the sides, from each entrance. It's usually 3 sections. So the ramp, the running ramp, the side where you can come in at, where you walk in to get to the seats, and on the right. So on each side, they should be coming in on a 3-prong, entrance, right? All of them should have rushed in there and been surrounding the ring, and Adam should have been terrified because he ain't know which one of them it was. Then they all should have got in the ring together, everybody, and they all standing there together on some Kendrick Lamar type shit. And then in a sea of the blacks, Seth then reveals his mask, and you can see who he is. He holds his hands up, they disperse and surround the ring. Okay? That's how you should have did it, at least in my opinion. Now, he's talking to him. Adam's telling him, look, I ain't got no love for the fucking Vision. You know that. And you know that I've known you a long time and I respect you. But here's the thing. Your ass has been coming in here attacking them week after week with these masked dudes, and you're doing the attacking. The only problem here is that you are not cleared. You just had surgery 5 months ago. You're coming out here and attacking them. And when they get their hands on you, all bets are off. Worst case scenario, you don't get away. And Seth just standing there. He don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Okay? He don't care about none of that shit. He ain't trying to hear that. He said, you are not cleared. You cannot be coming in here attacking people because I can't always protect you. And I don't know about these little masked men you done brought in here, but they can't always protect you either. There's going to come a time where you are going to be in the worst case scenario. And then here come motherfucking Logan Paul and Austin Theory. And I said, are they supposed to be the worst case scenario? I said, are they supposed to be your worst case scenario? Mm.
Wow. All right. It's going to be like that.
Yeah, it seemed like that's what it's going to be, babe. I don't know how that's going to be the worst case scenario because, sure. You got to find that segment. Yeah, baby. You got to look it up. It should be on X somewhere. But anyways, as they came out, they was like, so Division come out there and they was like, yeah, we are your worst case scenario. I ain't gonna tell you all that Logan Paul said because I don't give a shit. They came down there with the mics, they got on the ring, and they saw them niggas back there. I don't know why they thought they was gonna do something with 15 people standing back there where the announcers table was. I don't know what they thought they were going to do. That's what I was curious about. If Seth was in there by himself, I wouldn't say nothing. But he had a whole motherfucking army of masked niggas there. There was nothing that Logan Paul or Austin Theory could do. Nothing. Then they did nothing but misdirection. They all climbed in the ring the moment Theory and Paul stepped anywhere near Seth Rollins. They all climbed in the ring together, corralled around Seth. He put his hood and stuff back on, and they all did their misdirection. The misdirection is what allowed Seth to leave and get out of the way. You didn't know who was in the ring, who was Seth and who wasn't. Everybody ended up running out together. Seth gone. Nobody knows where he's at. And then the Usos, well, LA Knight comes out there and starts attacking them and fighting them. And then the Usos come down there. Now the Usos was getting ready to leave, and Jackie Redmond was like, "Yo, I just want a statement, about what happened last week, and I just want to know, how you feel, about you coming down there with the Vision and Seth Rollins." And Jay was like, "We don't give a fuck about no Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins can get it too, and the Vision can get it too. As far as we concerned, they all lumped in this shit together." And she was like, "Well, do you have anything to say to Punk about his statements from last week?" And Jay said he ain't have a damn thing to say to Punk. And Jimmy was like, hold on, bro. Maybe we do. And that's how we got the gold segment that we got at the end of the show today. But there was much more show to be had, okay? Because now, let's talk about Liv and Judgment Day. I told you that bitch cost her friend that damn gauntlet match. Stephanie Vaquer cut a promo, and she said straight up, because during that gauntlet match, Stephanie is the one who drew Liv Morgan away. That was a part of the distraction. Had Liv Morgan not brought her ass out there in the first place, Raquel might have advanced in that tournament. Now, let's just keep it fucking real. Now, Stephanie cut a promo. Stephanie said, "I am glad that WWE saw the potential in you that you had and brought you in your 20s. They were able to curate and create a bona fide superstar out of you." But she said, "You're lazy. You like to cut corners, hide behind your trash of a man." She loved calling that man trash, child. "You're hiding behind that trash of a man." And she said, "You know what else I hate about you? It's not even about your shitty laugh or your tired ass boyfriend and your silly ass family. It's the wasted potential of you." She said, "I see what you are and the greatness that you can have, but you are so busy trying to finagle your way around and keep these bums around you that you don't even see your greatness." She said, "You don't even see it." She said, "It's okay though, because you're going to need everything that you got to be able to beat me at WrestleMania." And she said, "Yeah, those mud huts that you're talking about, they forged your women's world champion. And I wouldn't change that for the world. I am who I am because of those mud huts. I got that hardened spunk in me because of that." But she said, "You know what? I see your greatness and I see where you can go, but you ain't gonna never get there as long as you keep trying to keep yourself aligned with this bullshit." And I said, "Well, she make a lot of sense." She said, "You enjoy being a lazy, dumb blonde, and I don't understand it." And I said, "Oh, not a lazy." I know what it was. She called her a cheap blonde. "You like being a cheap blonde." And I said, well. She got you on the cheap part, baby. Them boots she had on today wasn't cheap. Them was some cute boots she had on today. But the heifer don't never wear no damn clothes. I get tired of walking around with her. She don't wear nothing but panties and a crop top. That's all that hoe wear. Anyways, all the stuff that Stephanie said, and Liv Morgan could not focus on the fact that all she said was you so hyper fixated on these friends and everything around you that you don't even see how great that you can be and where you are. But she said, "You're going to need everything you got in order to beat me at WrestleMania, because I'm going to bring the hell, I'm going to bring the fire, and I'm going to bring all the experience that I have, and I'm going to show you what it is like to be in the ring with a real champion." I said, "Well, she got you there, bitch. I don't know what to tell you other than you better bring it." Now it cuts to them being in the little Judgment Day family room or whatever, and she's sitting up there like she's talking about, "All I care about is my friends. At least I have friends." I'm like, there was a time where you didn't, and you had to, weasel your way in and fuck a man to get into this friendship. So But go off though. Go off, you know. Now Dom coming there. And Dom says, where is Finn? I need to talk to him. He's not answering my calls. I've been trying to find him. We need to have a conversation. JD McDonough goes and looks for him. And he's like, I'm going out to the ring. I'm calling Finn out. And they was like, you want us to come with you? They said, yeah. So they all go out to the ring together. Dominic got the microphone and Dominic say, Finn, you owe me a match and you better get it. I don't appreciate you costing me my title. Now Penna has the championship and I want a rematch now. So Finn come out there and JD with him. He come out there and he go in the ring and he talking. He says, you better have went to Pierce and told him that I deserve a title shot for what you did last week. What you got to say for yourself? You cost me my championship. Technically, he did not cost him the title. He cost him his championship by waiting and pining for shit when he could have just simply beat Penna all on his own lonesome, okay? But he lazy. He lazy. Finn said, listen, you know what? You right. I did cost you your championship last week, and for that, I'm sorry. But he said, I've been on this path to try to get you to do things on your own, to grow a pair, to be a man and stand on your word. You said that you wanted to defend that title on your own. So I made you stand on that because in this business, all you got is your word. And you decided that that wasn't good enough. And he said, all I have ever done is try to guide you and lead you in the right direction. But you never want to listen. But you know what? He said, I'm starting to believe that maybe your father was right, that you are just a spoiled little prick. Oh, and maybe he didn't like that. So he mushed him in the face. And then Finn kicked the shit out of him. And they was about to fight. You know what I'm saying? And that's when JD McDonough clotheslined the shit out of Finn. Now, if you don't know nothing about gang rules is blood in, blood out, baby. You get jumped in, you get jumped out. That's how that worked. And baby, they was whooping his ass. They whooped his ass. So he is out of the Judgment Day. That damn housing curse is working. It's working its way through. I just need you to go ahead and touch Raquel. So Raquel can get it through her thick ass skull that Liv Morgan don't give a fuck about what she got going on. Because why would you bring your ass out there while she's in the midst of the match, doing as well as she did, and cost her match like that? So this is the third betrayal. You cost her the IC championship match. You cost her the Royal Rumble. And you cost her women's world championship match. 3 times. You have cost her opportunities at being at the top of the mountain or at least at the top of the mid-card. And you make it seem as though Raquel just has opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. You know damn well she don't. You know damn well she don't. And I need Raquel to get out of this fog and start doing shit on her own and stop being fucking stupid. Now the Judgment Day done turned on motherfucking Finn. They done kicked Finn out. Finn on his own. And not only that, but every member that started off in Judgment Day in the early stages, the first iteration with Edge, the second iteration with Finn Balor, the third iteration, you know what I'm saying, when it came to Liv and JD McDonough, all of these different iterations of the Judgment Day and Roxanne Perez, like Finn is the last of the originals, the last of the second set. He the last of them. Now, only people that's left in there that came from that particular section of the blood of the Judgment Day is Dom. He's the last of the original members of the new Judgment Day. I just need all of this to blow up in their face immediately. I need to see it. I need it. Because it was delicious. Now Finn has been set free. Now where this sends Finn, I don't know. But Finn Balor could very well end up going after the title sometime next year, depending on who has it and where it's going. It's a very interesting time, though. But I'm just glad that he's gone. I'm glad he's been set free. He's been set free, ladies and gentlemen. Now, there were two matches that happened on the card outside of the Gauntlets match. Pena went up against Grande Americano. Now, before he came out there, Danhausen ran into the original El Grande Americano and, well, he cursed him. So then Rayo and Bravo kidnapped him, and the other El Grande Americano came out there because the card says El Grande Americano. It didn't necessarily specify which one, as long as it said El Grande Americano. Either way, Pena beat El Grande Americano. He beat him and he won. He did cut a very impassioned promo about being chosen, finally having the opportunity to be champion and to make history, and he was very excited about that. Pena is the very first Mexican-born Intercontinental Champion, okay? Now, Dom was a Mexican-American Intercontinental Champion, but Pena is the first Mexican-born, okay? So, we got a lot going on there. Also, we had another match. Obafemi faced off against Rusev. It was actually a really good match, but Rusev could not best Zarula. The ruler beat Rusev pretty damn well, and he is now going to continue his winning streak in the E. Who he will wrestle next, I'm not sure. There was one more backstage segment that happened on Monday Night Raw, and it was between Javon Evans and Kofi Kingston. You see, Kofi walked up to Javon after he talked to Adam because Adam told him he did amazing in Elimination Chamber and that he had the week off this week, that he can go and do whatever he wanted to do. He's off. Javon said, great, I appreciate you. Love that for me. I'm off. Let's do it. But before he got away, Kofi Kingston decided he wanted to have a little talk with the young OG. And he sent Grayson Waller packing for a little while. This was because it was an open invitation to Javon Evans to be around people who he can be mentored by. And he decided that he sees a lot of himself in Javon Evans because they do have a similar aesthetic. High flyers by trade, they're doing new, unique and innovative things in the ring, and they are being seen because of it. And Kofi Kingston does know a thing or two about it. But I have no doubt in my mind that having Javon Evans hanging around New Day in this current state that they are in is not a good idea. But we'll see how it plays out. He did invite Javon Evans to be in the group, and Javon Evans did not respond. He told Javon to think about it and that he didn't have to say anything right now. And Javon just said, all right. I have a sneaky suspicion that Javon is going to decline and this isn't going to end well for them. Now, Xavier was nowhere to be seen, but Grayson was. Well, Grayson is always loud and weird. So, I have a thought. What if Finn causes him to lose his AAA championship? I would live. I would live for that. I would live for it. It'd be amazing. If he does, I think that he definitely has to cut his hair. Isn't that match between him and Vikingo a hair versus hair match? Like the stipulation is that he gets his hair cut. Hold on. AAA Vikingo versus El Hijo del Vikingo states that if he beats Dominic Mysterio for the AAA Mega Championship at Rey de Reyes, Dominic has to leave Mexico and leave AAA forever. The match will be a no disqualifications match. Oh. This fucked up. I thought he loses his hair. Did they change the stipulations? So he does get his hair cut? I'm so fucking confused right now. They are really stacking this shit. Ugh. Anywhoosies, y'all. That was Monday Night Raw. Okay, it was a fairly simple show, but it was decent. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't too much. A lot of the bulk of the show came from the gauntlet match, which I can appreciate. It was kind of similar to the tag team match over on USA, that this past Friday. I thought that was said. I thought that was said too, but I don't see it. I'm gonna look it up and see. Ray Day Reyes AAA. Let me see. Okay. So there are two stipulations in this no disqualifications match. One of them is that if Mysterio wins, Vikingo can't challenge for the title as long as Mysterio is champion. But if Vikingo wins, Mysterio has to leave AAA for good. Oh, they got the War Raiders going for the tag team titles down in AAA. That's interesting. And they got Laredo Kid, Dragon Lee, TJP. Ew. And Jack Cartwheel. You could have came up with a better last name than Cartwheel, sir. They're going after the AAA Cruiserweight Championship. That seemed like it's going to be a fire-ass card. I thought they was going hair for hair. I thought he was cutting off the boy hair, but I guess that's not happening. Whatevers. Over on NXT, ladies and gentlemen, we got a few things brewing. There is a tag team match over on NXT next week, I believe, between Miles Bourne and Joe Hendry, and they'll be facing off against Ricky Saints and Ethan Page, you know, the best friends forever. And then it looks like this triple threat match is next week. It's not the week after next. It looks like this triple threat is next week. So it's a lot going on for JC Jane, but we'll have to wait and see, child. Any whoosies. Y'all look, I'm going to get my black ass up out of here. I went live today and showed y'all the My Rise and stuff and what you had to do. If you want to see that, just go on over to my page and you can check that out for yourself. I'll go live again. I think I'll do it Wednesday afternoon instead of doing it tomorrow. I'll probably be a little bit more advanced in the story because I'm going to try to do some more stuff to get my call together. But I'm not going to go live tomorrow. I'll do it Wednesday and you guys can, take a little bit of a break. Love that for me. Anyways, make sure you guys rate, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more wrestling content. Check out our merch and consider becoming a member for exclusive perks, special emojis, and members-only content.